O-Level Biology 5090, Paper 1, May-June 2024, and variant is 1-2. And we will discuss the question number 1 to question number 20. So first of all, question number 1, and in question number 1 is, which type of cell has a cellulose cell wall? Animal cells, they don't have the cell wall. So A option is not the answer. Bacterium, they have cellulose cell wall. Instead of cellulose cell wall, they have cell wall made up of peptidoglycan. And fungus has the cell wall is made up of chitin, and plants, they have only cellulose cell wall. Only D is the correct option. And question number 2, some young plants were put into the soil and grew well for a few weeks. They then began to show signs of disease. Samples of the diseased leaves were examined using a microscope. Which observations of the organisms causing the disease show that it would be a fungus? And you know, fungus are the eukaryotic cells. So long and thread-like structures, they are present. They are present in the fungus. Chloroplasts are not present. Cell walls present, and nuclei surrounded by a membrane. Yes, so I have already told you they are eukaryotic cells. So A can be the correct option. So all they should be present. It means A is the correct option and other options are not correct. Now, question number, we are moving towards the question number 3. And question number 3 is, the cell wall of a plant cell is removed using an enzyme. So cell wall is removed. What would happen if this cell is then placed in distilled water? So it would take longer for the cell to become turgid? No. Proteins in the cytoplasm would leave through the cell membrane? No, they cannot pass through the cell membrane. They are larger molecules. The cell would become smaller and water passes out? No. If we keep the cell into the distilled water, so water will enter into the cell. So if water is entered into the cell, it means after some time it will burst. So D is the correct option, as the cell wall protects the cell from bursting. But if cell wall is not there, the cell will burst. So in this way, the D is the correct option. Question number 4. And in question number 4, there is a table. The table shows the concentrations of the 4 types of particles in 2 cells. And the particles are magnesium ions in cell 1, they are 6, in cell 2, 2. Nitrate ions are also greater in number as 9 and 2 in cell 2. And oxygen molecules are also 12 and 9, and water molecules are lesser in cell 1, 320, and greater in 520 in the cell 2. Which particles can only be moved by active transport? So the active transport is a process in which molecules and ions move from lower concentration towards the high concentration. So according to this, we have to find out which particles will move by active transport. So magnesium ions, they are greater in cell 1 as comparison to cell 2. So the A option is not correct option, because in the cell 1, they will move from cell 1 to, they will not move from cell 1 to 2. They have to move against the concentration gradient. So they should move from cell number 2 towards the cell number 1. And nitrate ions, they are greater in number in cell 1 as comparison to cell 2. So they are moving from cell 2 to cell 1. So B is the correct option. So B is the correct option. And you can see the oxygen molecules. You can see the oxygen molecules. Oxygen and the gases move by the process of diffusion, and water molecules, they move by the process of osmosis. So only B is the correct option, in which the ions are moving against the concentration gradient, that is from cell 2 to cell 1. Now question number 5. And question number 5 is there. Which types of food molecules has the element nitrogen in its structure? Amino acids, the unit of protein. So they are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So A is the correct option, as fatty acids are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Glucose is also carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Glycerol, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So in this way, only amino acids are there which have nitrogen in their structure. So question number 6, which test can be used to determine the presence of glucose? Glucose is a reducing sugar. Reducing sugar. So the test for reducing sugar is Benedict test. A is the correct option because Buret test is for proteins. And ethanol emulsion is for lipid or fats. And then iodine test is for starch. So only A is the correct option. Question number 7. And question number 7, they have an investigation or an experiment is conducted in this experiment. In this question, indicator solution shows the following color changes. Atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration is there. The indicator will show the orange color. If there is high concentration of carbon dioxide, then the color will be yellow, and the low concentration of carbon dioxide, the color will be purple. So in the experiment shown, the indicator was orange in both tubes at the beginning of the experiment. So what was the experiment? They have pond beads inside 2 test tubes with the indicator solutions, but around the test tube 1, they have black paper. It means due to black paper, there will be no light which can enter through this black paper. So no light, no process of photosynthesis, no photosynthesis. And in test tube B, light can enter, no black paper is outside, so the photosynthesis will take place. Yes, photosynthesis, yes. So which colors would be indicators to after 3 hours? After 3 hours, so it means in test tube 1, no photosynthesis. So as a result of respiration of pond bead, there will be the high concentration of carbon dioxide inside. But in case of test tube 2, that is the carbon dioxide which is produced or which is already present into it, it will be changed in the process of photosynthesis, or it will be used in the process of photosynthesis. So there will be low concentration of carbon dioxide in the test tube 2. So according to this, in test tube 1, orange color, yellow, no. In test tube yellow, no. A is not the correct option because in test tube 1, the color should be yellow. High carbon dioxide concentration will be there. High carbon dioxide concentration, so yellow color. And in this case, low carbon dioxide concentration, so the purple color should be there. So according to this, we have the D correct option. A, B, and C, they are not the correct options. Only D is the correct option in question number 7. Now we are moving towards the question number 8. So question number 8 is, they have shown a diagram, a section of a leaf. They have labeled the 4 parts. The 4 parts, you can see the part number 1 is guard cells. 2 is spongy mesophyll. And 3 is epidermal cell. and 4 is xylem. Which number indicates cells are both photosynthesis and gas exchange occur? So gas exchange occur in guard cells and spongy mesophils, they have chloroplast inside. Guard cells also have chloroplast inside. So in this way, the option A is the correct option for both photosynthesis and gas exchange. 4 xylem, which will conduct the water, and 2 and 3, no, this is not, and 3 and 4 epidermal cells, they protect the leaf. So only A is the correct option. Question number 9. And you can see in question number 9, water moves from the soil to the atmosphere through a plant. From the soil to the atmosphere. The water enters the plant through the root hair cells and moves into the root cortex. Root hair cells and then root cortex. So this is the pathway of the water movement from the soil towards the xylem. Where does the water moves into from the root cortex? So from the root cortex, it should move into the xylem because the root of the water is root hair cells. To cortex, and from cortex, it should move towards the xylem. So this is the root. So according to this, into the mesophyll cells, no. Into the phloem vessels, no. Into the xylem vessels, yes. Through the stomata, no. So only C is the correct option according to this root. And the next question is question number 10. And in question number 10, we have a graph. The graph shows the loss of the water vapors from two different plants growing in identical conditions, two different plants, plant X and plant Y. So the timings, what is a possible reason for the difference in the volume of the water vapor lost from the two plants? Time on one side, x-axis, time of the day, and on y-axis is volume of the water vapor lost. So we have to find out what is the possible reason for the difference in the volume of water vapors lost from the two plants. You can see in plant Y, the loss is less as comparison to plant X. So we have to find out the suitable answer. Plant X has most of its stomata on the lower surface of the leaf. Plant X. So in that case, there should be less loss of water. So A option is not correct option. Plant Y has most of the stomata on the upper surface of the leaf. It means there should be again greater loss of water. So B is not correct option. The surfaces of the mesophyll cells of plant have a greater surface area. So C can be the correct option. Let's see the D option. The surface of the mesophyll cells of plant have a greater surface area. Why has greater surface area? If it means they have less surface area due to which there is less loss of water. So only C is the correct option in which the surface area of the mesophyll cell is greater, and due to greater surface area, there is more loss of water in plant X. So C is the correct option. Now, question number 11. And in question number 11, the diagram is there, and diagram shows some parts of the human digestive system. The different parts are P, Q, R, and S. So, which row identifies the main function of each of these labeled parts? So, first of all, P shows the mouth and Q stomach. R is small intestine. And it is rectum. And so in this way, first of all, we have to find out ingestion, mouth, ingestion. So ingestion, ingestion. And Q, where stomach, digestion, digestion. And digestion. And R, absorption. And then S, egestion. So according to this, D is the correct option. A, B, C are the wrong answers. Now, next question, question number 12. And question number 12 is, the dish is filled with agar jelly containing protein. So, agar jelly have proteins. Is 4 holes are cut in the jelly and each hole is filled as shown in the diagram. After 30 minutes, which hole will be surrounded by the largest area without protein? So protein is digested by the pepsin. So the hole A, pepsin solution is there. B has pepsin solution with HCl. And C, boiled pepsin and agar jelly containing proteins and distilled water. So it means boiled pepsin solution, denature. It will be denatured. Pepsin will be denatured. So no reaction will take place in the C. Distilled water, there is no enzyme, no reaction will take place. And in A, pepsin solution is there, which will digest the proteins into amino acids or peptones. But there is one condition, that is the proteins are digested in the acidic conditions. So acidic conditions are required. So the B is the correct option, as the enzyme will digest the proteins, because hydrochloric acid will lower its pH of the reaction. So in this way, the pepsin is also there. So the B is the correct option. So proteins will be digested in B. So there will be more, you can say, clear area around the point B. Now question number 13. And question number 13 is, scientists estimated the areas of the inner surfaces of different regions of a healthy human digestive system. Which region is the small intestine? Region A, surface area is 0.25. Region B is 0.75. C is 2. And D has 32. It means D is the correct option, because the small intestine has large surface area for more absorption of the nutrients. So larger surface area will allow the nutrients, or they will be absorbed very easily into the small intestine. So D is the correct option. Question number 14. In question number 14, a diagram is shown. And the diagram is of an alveolus and a blood capillary. So alveolus and blood capillary is around the alveolus, which row identifies the P, U, and R. So alveolus is the balloon-like structure of the bronchioles. So oxygen enters into it. When we inhale, oxygen is entered into the alveolus, and from alveolus, the carbon dioxide goes out. because exchange of gases takes place in the alveolus, and the blood which is coming around the capillary, it will have higher concentration of carbon dioxide, and then this high concentration of carbon dioxide will be left into the alveolus. It will enter into the alveolus, and the oxygen will enter into this blood capillary, as there will be low concentration of oxygen into it. So here the exchange of gases will take place, that oxygen will be higher in concentration. It will enter into the blood capillary, and in capillary the carbon dioxide in higher concentration, so it will enter into the alveolus. So P can be the which is entering into the capillary. So it is oxygen, oxygen. And Q is carbon dioxide. So it is leaving the capillary and entering into the alveolus. And the R is the red blood cell. So red blood cell carry the hemoglobin. It helps in the transportation of oxygen. So C is the correct option. A, B, and D are not the correct options. Only C is there. Next question. Question number 15. What is produced during anaerobic respiration in muscle? Anaerobic respiration in muscles takes place, and there is the production of lactic acid when our muscles respire anaerobically. So lactic acid is produced, which is deposited into the muscles. So D is the correct option. Alcohol, carbon dioxide, and water, they are produced as a result of anaerobic respiration in yeast. And carbon dioxide and lactic acid, no, this is not correct. Carbon dioxide only, again, this is not the correct option. So D is the correct option, because lactic acid is produced when our muscles respire anaerobically. Now the question number 16. So the question number 16 is there. The student measured their pulse rate in beats per minute 3 times at rest and 3 times after running. So the table shows the results. Pulse rate at rest 62, 66, and 63, and pulse rate after running 152, 157, 155. What was their mean? What was their mean heart beat rate after running to the nearest BPM? Ab yahan you can see that A option is 64, B is 154, and we have to take the mean of all these. And 152 plus 157 plus 155. So in this case, the answer can be, when we 152 plus 157 plus 155, and there is 464 is equal to 460. We will divide it with the 3. So when we divide, it will be 155. So C is the correct option after taking mean. A, B, and D are not the correct options. So question number 16 is done. Question number 17 is there. A heart and lung bypass machine is used during heart surgery so that the heart can be stopped to allow an operation to take place. Okay. Then blood is diverted into the bypass machine from the blood vessel entering the heart from the body. The machine oxygenates the blood and pumps it back into the blood vessel, leaving the heart to return it to the body. So into which blood vessels are the tubes placed to remove the blood from the body to the bypass machine and to return to the body to the blood to the body? So to remove blood from the body, vena cava. To return from the body, the aorta. So they can be the correct option: vena cava, pulmonary artery, aorta, pulmonary vein, aorta, vena cava. So here I would like to explain all this. Vena cava, which will collect the blood from the body. It will collect the deoxygenated blood from the body. Aorta will distribute the oxygenated blood towards the body. So vena cava, same. Pulmonary artery, which will take the deoxygenated blood towards the lungs, and pulmonary vein, which brings the oxygenated blood from the lungs towards the heart. So in this way, the correct option is there, which is A, because vena cava, we have to find out the remove the blood from the body. So vena cava is used to remove the blood from the body, and then the blood returns to the body, it will be through the aorta. So A is the correct option. All other options are not correct. Now question number 18. And in question number 18, a table is shown. Data on the number of people who suffer from malaria each year in different countries of the world have been collected for many years. Some of that data is shown in the table. In which country was the number of people suffering from malaria in 2019 50% lower than in 1990? So 50% lower in 1990. In 2019, there should be 50% lower as comparison to 1990. So we have to see which one shows this requirement. In A, in 1990, they are 5,000, and in 2019, they are 10,000. So the wrong option. In B, 1990, they are 14,000, and in 2019, they are half of 14,000. So B is the correct option. In C, 10,000 and 12,000, again no and no. So in this way, half 50% are in 2019, and in 1990 they are 14,000. So in this way, B is the correct option. Next, question number 19. Which disease is strongly associated with cigarette smoking? Anemia, which is called due to deficiency of iron. Bronchitis is the inflammation of the lungs, and rickets are called due to the deficiency of calcium, and scurvy, the bones are weak. Scurvy is due to the lack of vitamin C. So which option can be correct? Only B is the correct option, which is the inflammation of the lungs. So it is caused because of cigarette smoking. Question number 20. And question number 20 is four groups of people, A, B, C, and D, were exposed to infection by pathogens virus. Researchers measured the level of antibiotics in their blood before and after they were infected. The results are summarized in the graph. PAL is the protective antibody level. PAL is the protective antibody level, the level required to give protection from the virus. Which group of people would have suffered the effects of the virus infection? So here you can say in A, the PAL level is lower, which is the protective antibody level. So in this way, level of antibodies is higher than PAL. So A is not the correct option. In B, the PAL is lower than the antibody level of antibodies is below than the PAL. So B is the correct option. And in C, again, the level of antibodies is higher than the PAL, and in D as well. So only B is the correct option, and in which the people have suffered the effects of the viral infection because their level of antibody is lower than the protective antibody level. So it was all about from question number 1 to 20. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And thanks for watching.